Hey BoLS fans, AdamHarry back again with another BoLS unboxing. Today we are looking at Dungeon Saga, the Dwarf Queen King's Quest. This is from Mantic Games. It's their new 2 to 5 player dungeon crawling adventure game. It's a 30 minutes, 120 minute game, so up to 30-minute game or 2 hours, and it is a campaign. But ultimately, this game is Mantic's take on the classic intro adventure game to get you hooked on miniature gaming. Everybody always has that one game that gets them kind of hooked, and this is Mantic's take on that. We still have the plastic wrap on it. That's why we have that awesome glare. Let me go ahead and take that off, and then we'll do a deep dive into the contents. Okay, plastic wrap is off. Full disclosure, the box did get a little bent in transport. That's not normal. That was us. That was not the quality. But this box is pretty sweet. There's the back of the box, as you can see there. Tons of stuff in here. Bunch of plastic miniatures, tiles, cards, tokens. Pretty much everything you expect to come from for a modern board game. So it is a quest for up to 5 heroes, or 4 heroes, I believe. So it's pretty cool. So check that out. Here we have the big book. It's built like a book, so it's got this cool cover. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, the game comes in this nice box. It's like a really cool book. So here we have the quest book, which is probably what the campaign is based off of. We have the rule book, which everybody's going to want to take a look at probably. So that's the side here. We've got quick start guide, which everybody loves those. We'll go through those as well. And the Necromancer Overlord panel. So that's pretty cool. And again, we'll go through all that. We have bags. Thank you, Mantic, for including some plastic bags to keep everything in. Nice and neat. Oh, cool. So we've got some different dungeon stuff here. Various stuff here. Looks like some doors, and again we'll go through all that here in a bit. We've got the heroes. They come in this blue plastic. We'll take a look at monsters and villains. All right, more dungeon crawling goodness, and more probably villains. I'm guessing from the look of those guys. Plastic bag to keep stuff. Awesome. We've got some cards. Like so, spell. Open these first. Okay. Ability. We'll take a look at that. Dice. Gotta have dice. Looks like it's a D6 system here, so that's good to know. And these are probably stands for doors or something, or clips. I don't know. We'll find out here in a second. So that pops out. That pops out. Some nice separators there. And then of course, dungeon tiles and tokens. So it's a high quality cardboard stuff. It's pretty dense looking. So yeah, so that's the contents of the book box, which that's actually pretty cool. I like the design choice in that. You could put that on the shelf and people would be like, hey, it's a neat book, what is that? And you'd be like, surprise, sucker, it's a board game. So that's Dungeon Saga. Let me pause real quick, I'll get everything laid out, and we'll go through it all. That's quite a bit of stuff. So yeah, where to start? So we'll start here because this says open these first. These are just the command cards for the and spell cards in the game. These are just Mantic Point cards. So just Mantic Point, but you can save those and redeem them on manticgames.com. But yeah. Anyway, these are the command cards for the Dungeon Master, Warlord, Overlord guys, what they call them in this game. Basically, what that is. The Overlord, so it's a game 2 to 5 players. One player plays the Overlord, who is the bad guy controller, and he has a command deck that he uses, or she uses. And then the other players in the game will take the place of heroes, and they're going through the campaign in the dungeon. So that's what these are. These are just the different spells. So I'm reading these upside down. So we have items and spell cards and more Overlord cards. So that's what those are. Pretty cool art on them. It's just pretty standard stuff you'd expect to see in a board game these days. So just high quality stuff, good cards, good stuff there. We have a bunch of ability cards here and more spells for the heroes probably. and more items and stuff like that. So showing these to you guys upside down, obviously, but more Overlord stuff. So yeah, more cards for the Overlord, all that good stuff. You can see there's different commands, delay, stuff like that, curses and stuff that the Overlord can do, ability cards, just different stuff that the heroes have access to. We have item cards. Again, these are stuff that you're going to find during the game and use and have different effects and equip them and use them and stuff like that. So different in-game effects. Pretty straightforward there. And then of course spell cards, stuff you're going to be able to do. Some of these are for the Overlord and things like that. So cards, I think we're all familiar with the cards that you get with the stuff. So moving on from there, you do have the big hero card things. So as you can see here, we've got, they have the bosses, so, and then the heroes. So I'll start with the bosses real quick. We've got the Undead Dwarf King. Surprise, surprise, this campaign he's the boss. And then we have a Zombie Troll Shaman, which zombie trolls are never a good thing when something's undead and can regen like a troll. Then we have a Banshee as well. She's pretty tough. She can't actually be hit by regular attacks, special abilities and stuff like that. Oh, real quick, let me do a breakdown real fast of what these card numbers mean real fast. Let me just set this down here and we'll go through the card. So you can see here, model name up in the corner there. These are their hit points, how many hits they have taken, movement, how many spaces they can move, combat dice, how many attacks they roll in close combat. So this guy rolls 2 dice. And 1 armor. So what that means, and I'll do a quick example. It's actually in the quick play rules, but basically, if this guy was attacking a similar model as himself, he'd roll 2 dice to his melee attack. Only defenders can attack. The defender would also roll their combat dice as well. And you cancel like results and any dice that are over in favor of the attacker. So just for an example here, if he's attacking himself, he rolls a 1 and a 4 on the attack, and the defender also himself rolls a 2 and a 3. So what would happen? So any numbers that drop off are lower than the armor value are discarded. So that 1 that he rolled on the attack, he rolled a 1 and a 4, the 1 is discarded automatically. The other numbers, however, the 2 and the 3 that the defender rolled, neither one of those dice are higher than the 4 that the attacker rolled, so he actually hit, as you can see there. And then there's a chart, you check to see what kind of damage is done. So it's a very simple combat mechanic, and I'm probably not doing a good job explaining it too well, but once you see it in action, you're like, oh, that totally makes sense. So, but that's what those cards look like, and we'll go through the heroes real quick. We have a human wizard here. And you can see here 7 movement, combat dice 2, armor 1. Obviously not the most close combat proficient person, but he's got abilities and spells and stuff like that, obviously. We have an elf ranger, very fast combat dice, and then also shooting dice, same deal. You don't roll 7 dice total, it's 3 dice in close combat and then 4 dice when shooting, as you see there. Special feats and stuff like that, armor 2. We've got the dwarf fighter, who's kind of a boss in close combat. He rolls 4 dice and has 4 armor, so he's like super duper hard to actually hurt. And then we've got the human barbarian, who very fast, light armor, rolls the most attack dice. So and then he's got a feat as well. So pretty cool stuff there. Zooming back out, more stuff on the board. I'll get to the models in a second. I know you guys want to see the models. I want to show them off. I'm pretty excited about that. The Overlord has a nice little cheat sheet here. Again, it shows the damage if you do 1 hit, 2 hits, 3 hits, etc. Again, I'm not going to get into all the nitty-gritty details for the combat of the game, but it's a basic general thing. So pretty good to go. Pretty much good to go there. So good cheat sheets. I always like quick reference stuff as well. So these brown tokens here are interesting. They're obviously things in the dungeon. So we have a bookcase and some barrels and some other stuff like that. There's a well. Half of these, this half, there's this weird kind of rubber stuff. So I'll just show you what I'm talking about here. You can kind of bend it and it flexes. It's you know, it's bendy. So it's this weird kind of rubber plastic stuff. and those are just tiles. These, however, are hard plastic, as you can tell, and we'll look at the quality of these here in a second as well. We'll get a little closer, but I just wanted to show that off to start. So again, we have the blue guys here are the hero models. Then we've got more bad guys here, and then the four bosses here. So if you're wondering about the scale, these look like 20mm scale, so and they are on square bases. So if you already play Kings of War for Mantic, you can totally put these in your army. Nobody's going to be, nobody's going to notice a difference. These zombie models are actually very, very similar to the ones that they already have out, and the dwarf guy here looks like the same scale, the same model as some of the other dwarf stuff in the line. And then of course these big troll guys, same deal, skeletons and all that stuff. So basically what I'm saying is, if you already play Kings of War, you've got a little mini starting army here for you. So there you go for some undead. So just saying, you can use these models for that. So we'll get into the models here right now. So let's zoom on in. And there we go. I'll start here. So again, here's the door. As you can see there, these are pretty straightforward. I mean, they're you can see the ridges and stuff like that. It's pretty good quality for door tokens. We're not breaking the bank here on on crazy detail, but they look good. I'm not going to complain about the quality of these things. You could throw some paint on here and they'd be perfectly awesome. So look at this little guy here. So let's take a look at some of the hero figures. So here we have the elf ranger. Let's see here, and we have I know the lighting's a little weird, but the detail on these guys isn't bad at all. Like, perfectly passable. Like I said, if you're familiar with the other Mantic Games stuff, this is the same quality as far as detail, if not a little bit better, actually, I think. And the fact that these are all single pose models, single piece models that are literally ready to play right out of the box. You don't have to put paint on them, but you totally could, and they would totally look awesome. I saw some painted up ones at Gen Con and they look great. So yeah, but this again is designed to be your intro starter game to the world of tabletop, board games and stuff like that. So adventure board games. You can see the models aren't bad. Like, I really do think they did a good job. Not bad at all. So you can see the pouches and stuff like that. I think a good wash, even just a quick black wash to bring out some of the detail, would totally help you guys see the good stuff here. So yeah, model quality is not bad at all. We have one of the big guys here. This is the Troll Undead Shaman boss figure. He's just that gray plastic. He's not made of the same rubbery stuff as this stuff. So these are all hard plastic, good detail. The bases, I want to point out too, are all dungeon tile themed. So they're already textured and have stuff on them and things like that. So that's pretty sweet. You don't have to buy new fancy bases. Like I said, for being single piece models that come pre-assembled in the box, ready to play, ready to go, not bad at all. Like, you can see the guy's weird spine ribcage thing on top of his head. It's a little awkward. Hey, you got a growth there. What is that? I don't know. So, oh, okay, it's an armor plate. There you go. He's got a big hands and little head. I don't know what to say about that one. But yeah, going on, we have more of these guys. Here's the Undead Dwarf King. It's already a mean combo, so pretty cool. See the back of him here, flipping around for the camera. So he's got a big hammer. He's swinging it one-handed from the back. That's gangster style. Do dwarves have gangsters? I don't know. Here's a necromancer guy. He's raising skeletons, as you can see there. There's his base and stuff like that. He's got a skeleton coming out of the base, which is actually pretty neat. I haven't seen that one before, so I like it. I like it a lot. The bottom of the base is no big deal, just stuff. Looks like pegs. Here's the Banshee figure. She's pretty cool, as you can see there. Yeah, good detail on them. Can't complain. Again, this looks a lot like the Kings of War stuff, just slightly different, slightly altered. Here's some of the zombies. I'll show off these two zombies here. You can see them. So yeah, and again, that yellow plastic doesn't show up too well with the lighting, but again, same quality detail. I think don't want to wash on these guys would help bring out a lot of the detail. So here's an undead skeleton archer. So pretty cool there. We have a weird ghost, I guess. It's pretty cool, actually. Dragging like a ball and chain, and it's like there's no body parts. It's just kind of floating. That's pretty cool. And then we have these big troll dudes chucking rocks. So very similar to the other stuff from Mantic Games stuff. So yeah, good things all around for these models. Can't complain. There's a ton of other stuff too, a ton of other models and stuff like that. Just show off. Here's another undead dwarf guy. So you can see that guy there. Yeah, there's again. I don't know the exact model count. I'll look it up here in a second, but ton of cool models, ton of cool plastics in there. So you can see. Oh, that's a good shot. So you can kind of see the detail on that yellow plastic stuff. So anyway, that's what you get for those models. Not bad quality. Again, for an intro starter game, for getting people into board gaming or adventure board gaming, stuff like that. If you're a child of the 90s or early 80s like I am, then you remember I played Heroes Quest. You know, this is very reminiscent of that. So very cool. So let me pause real quick. I'm going to reorganize and we'll take a look at the tiles and then the printed materials as well. Okay, so here's the printed materials as far as the rule book, the quest book, and the tiles, and then also the quick start guide, obviously. The rule book is not very long at all. It's only 24 pages because it's got the back here too, which is basically a nice summary sheet, which is cool. But it's full color, you know, quick play stuff here, but it's full color. It's got some stuff if you want to do painting. All the rules you need to play the game are included. This doesn't have a whole lot of background fluff, but it does talk about just mechanically. It's how to use items, how to move, how to attack, how to shoot, stuff like that. How to do the combat. Again, higher dice cancel the lower dice. Attackers can only attack one defender at a time. Defenders only take damage. It's very simple stuff like that. It's and again, there's more stuff to it. I'm going through it very quickly, but yeah, really simple. The campaign, the quest book, I don't want to give anything away for those of you at home that might actually play, but I will show you this real fast. It is designed for campaign. Again, 2 to 5 players. One player should be the overlord, and they're going to read through the rest of this book. But I'll flip through it real quick. It is a full campaign. There's lots of stuff here. Warning, spoilers, different big dungeon tiles. They show you how to lay everything out. I don't want to give it all away, but there you go. There's a crazy dungeon there. All the different heroes, stuff like that. So kind of the what to, the who, what, when, where, and why you're doing stuff like that. They also have story pieces above the adventure stuff like that. So and a nice introductory story. So I don't want to give it all away, like I said, but you get the idea. It's a cool campaign. The quick start guide, you probably want to read this first. It's just a really quick intro adventure. It's designed for basically up to 3 players real fast to learn how to play. Once you get everything set up, you're going to run through with 2 heroes, a really straightforward dungeon tile setup, and then the overlord's going to get an example of how to play. And again, it just walks you through all the basic mechanics you need to know how to play. Super quick. It says it could take up to an hour to do that. I think it's more like 10 minutes once you get everything set up. And then, so, oh, this is really neat, a neat little tip. You want to repose your minis, hot water, so that's pretty cool. Now let's look at the tiles. We've come to expect this from a lot of the board games these days, especially coming back from Gen Con. We're going through so many board games now. Front and back tiles, good quality stuff. This one's already punched out. I'll just go ahead and do that. But you can see here, front and back tiles, high quality, really nice artwork on the tiles. They're not bland or anything like that. You know, there's stuff going on. They are a grid-based system, so as you see there, everything's printed out for movement, things like that. So you get a couple of tiles, well, more than a couple really, but again, there's an indoor-outdoor kind of style subset, different tokens, all these things around here. Bone piles, which apparently that's a mechanic when you're fighting the skeletons. If you hit them hard enough, they turn to bone piles. They just crumple. And then if you hit them really hard, they're completely destroyed. So you powder them. But it's pretty cool. So they've got different tokens, again, front and back, all that good stuff to do the different layouts for the different dungeons. And you can build some really cool, really big dungeons with all these different tiles, as you guys saw from the book. So there's another one popping out. These tiles just want to pop out and play. I can't play. So these little counters here are the wound markers. If you're wondering what these red kind of weird echelon looking things are. That's what those are. They're 1 counters. They go on the heroes cards, things like that. So yeah, really good tiles, really nice printed stuff up. It's, you know, it's a really fun looking game from Mantic. I'm looking forward to trying to get some games in again with this system too. I love me some campaign play, so I'm gonna enjoy running this through with a group, and you know, even some dice. I forgot to mention. I think I mentioned the dice, but again, it comes with 2 color sets, so you can roll attacker, defender, just to keep those separate. So it looks like, again, a very easy game to get into. If you have kids, you know, I started playing these type of board games when I was like 5, 6. Before I could even read, so I mean, they're pretty easy to get into. Yeah, and they're fun. It's a fun family game if you want to do that, or if you want to play with some mates and just really go at it. The Overlord basically can determine how difficult they want to make your life. With you know, if you're a parent, you know what I'm talking about. You can turn it down or amp it up for your kids. And if you're you know, one of those players that just wants to go for the throat, definitely you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, it looks like a good solid game. It comes in a really cool box. I like the book theme idea of everything in there, and again, it's just a really nice thing. It seems like something Mantic could make expansions for in the future. Just throwing it out there as a possibility. I'm sure that's probably already in the works, but they probably have their hands full with a certain other game that's square basing and taking up a lot of their time. But I definitely see this game, it could definitely grow into something big. So check it out. It should be in stores relatively soon. I don't have an exact date yet, but check out their website, Mantic Games, and we'll put a link on the down here for you guys. So again, AdamHarry from BoLS. Thanks for watching another unboxing. Yeah, have a good one.